All right, there's kind of a lot to unload here. This looks like an old hunter's camp, but I've also seen signs of a homestead also at the same time. So I don't know what was going on here, but hi, this is Brian from Northwest Bronco. Welcome back to the channel. On this trip, we have a couple of things planned. We're going to be going out in the Oregon Desert on Highway 20, and then we're going to turn south onto New Morris Road, and then that's going to take us to Fox Butte Road. And if you don't know where that is, it's kind of by Moffett Road. But we're going to go south about 25 miles out into the desert, and there's two things out there I want to see. One of them is looks like a roof and a clump of trees. We're going to take a look at that and see what it is. And then there's another thing out there. I honestly don't know what it is either, but it looks like possibly like a single wide or an old double wide sitting out there. So we're going to take a look at that too. And it never fails. We always find some interesting things along the way, which we will. I'll definitely show you. For camping tonight, there's a place called Got Whiskey Camp Area. It's not a campground. It's like a dispersed camp spot, I think, called Got Whiskey. So we're going to be staying the night there. And for meal plan, I don't have a lot of time. I got off work this morning, and it takes me about 4 hours to get out here, and I only have one night. So I have about 1 day to film and one night. So for a meal plan, I just packed the car real quick, threw a couple bags of Mountain House in the cooler. So we're gonna have Mountain House for dinner and breakfast. And I have, I'm gonna do a little bit of pyro cooking. I'm just gonna cook a real basic thing to show you guys. So this is kind of a quick trip. Two things I wanna find in particular, with probably, like always, there's gonna be a couple little things along the way. So I'll catch up with you again when we make our turn on New Morris Road, and we'll go from there. Yeah, I saw that there from the road. So let's go up and take a look and see what we got. Looks like just a big stack of rocks, except there's a little plaque on the ground right here. Plaque says, U.S. Department of Interior Geological Survey, it's an elevation marker, 4,812 feet above sea level. So right next to this stack of rocks right here, there's just a little survey marker, and that is way out here in the middle of nowhere. And here is the Bronco. So I saw it from there, and yeah, so let's keep moving and see what else we can find. All right, the road's starting to get a little bit choppier, and up here we're going to take a left, and then it shouldn't be too far down that road as our first point of interest. And now we're on some secondary road that goes back here. Supposedly about a quarter mile down this road is that roof that was in those trees, or that square thing in those trees I wanted to look at. Well, we truly are just creeping down this road. This road is just really, really rocky. But hopefully whatever's at the end of it will be worthwhile. So we're almost at that site, and I was driving along and I saw an old rusty can. So I'm going to get out real quick and check out this area. So just to give you a bit of a visual on where we're at, here you go. There's the Bronco. That is the road we came down, and right over here I saw a can. And I'm standing on the road right now, and I saw a can right there. So I'm going to take a look and here and see what else we can find. Well, I didn't find anything except for that one can. I did a big loop out here and another one across the street here, and I didn't see anything else. So we're going to go ahead and mosey on down the road and keep going to our spot. All right, we should be coming up on this location pretty quick, and I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera around so that we can see whatever this is together. Oh, this is just weird. It's just this big open clearing in here. There is some kind of a giant fire pit right there. This isn't a campground. Bunch of boards everywhere, some old cans. Huh. I'm trying to see where I saw a roof. That's what I'm really interested in finding. So I'm going to keep driving around past this. And if we don't find it, we'll come back to this area. All right, there's kind of a lot to unload here. This looks like an old hunter's camp, but I've also seen signs of a homestead also at the same time. So I don't know what was going on here, but there's a huge fire pit here, another one back there. Lots of Copenhagen cans, and it's kind of the same chew, which makes me believe that whatever group comes up here is probably the same group over and over again. But there's a whole lot of like purple glass jars, this, tin, a pod here nailed up to the tree. But I'm just going to kind of have a walk around with you and show you what I find. So there's this old tin pan nailed to the tree. Some old purple glass right there. There's a piece of an animal's spine stuck in the tree right here, along with an old can stuck in the tree. And over here is a whole lot of Copenhagen cans stuck in there. And oh, there's another one right up there. And then in this tree, stuffed in here, is a whole bunch of bullet casings. Got some kind of a weird drawing right here. Let me know if you know what this means. Okay, here's something interesting. Stuck down in right next to this tree on the ground was this really old, looks like a Kiss can. Look at that. Pretty darn old. And over here, there is some chicken wire stuck to the tree, which kind of leads me to believe homestead site possibly could be around here. An old chunk of metal, but so far I've not seen a foundation or anything like that. And down here on the ground, there's a bunch of cans right here and some boards. And over here is a couple of big old coffee can there on the left, some kind of an oil can on the right. Now, way back over there, I saw something green kind of in the woods there. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the shotgun for this one and go back there and see what we can find. Well, here's something interesting and new. Big old metal pipe stuck in the ground right here, running up into the tree. But it's really going nowhere. It's just sitting here. So, any ideas? Oh, right here, it looks like we have an old windowsill hanging from this branch. Really old one, just barely hanging on. Not sure why that'd be hanging there. It looks like the green thing that I saw from the Bronco is just this old green camp table. And this thing's really old. It has a couple of bullet holes in it. Rusty. Pretty cool. All right, now this is pretty cool. I walked up to this tree here and found a little something. It's a old International, looks like a hubcap. And there's also an really old can in there. Put that back. Man, this area is just huge. There's stuff just scattered and stuck in places all over the place. I see something at the end of this trail over here, so I'm going to follow this little either footpath or game trail and go see what it is that's by that tree back there. So I don't know what I stumbled across up here, but it looks to me like so far this is not really a homestead. It looks like a generational campsite that's kind of hidden away up here in the desert because you're seeing some really old cans, the same types of chew cans, which makes me believe that this is just probably a family or a group of people that for generations have come up here, because some stuff is not that old like this and some stuff's really old. Like there's a golf ball sitting right there. But there's also, the only thing that makes me want to keep walking around looking for a homestead site is because there's chicken wire that runs between trees now and then. So I don't know, I guess we'll keep looking around. All right, I think my theory is getting a little bit closer, that around here somewhere there either was or is a homestead here, because this is the first sign I've seen of a post. So this is a post with the chicken wire with barbed wire running along the top. So I'm going to keep looking around and see if I can find like a foundation or something. All right, take a look at this. I found this chicken wire right here. It looks like a fence, and there's a fence post to it. And I'm just cruising along this fence line. And I look to my right, and there's a can dump right there. Big old, really old can dump. So we must, if there's a foundation around, it's going to be really close to this can dump. Okay, here we go. Here's a bunch of, it's like a down tree mixed with boards. There's boards over there against that tree kind of in a heap. So I'm wondering if somewhere right in here is where a structure might have been. But the strange thing is those down trees slash boards kind of run in a big, almost like a fence circle around this site. So we're going to keep looking kind of towards the middle here and see what we can find. All right, we do have some old cans over here. Some boards with nails kind of running up the tree here. But I don't think this was a site of a home. I think this is just some kind of a, I don't know, maybe a privy or something. I don't know, let's keep looking. Well, I didn't have any more luck up there finding anything more, just besides those boards and chicken wire and fence posts. But there is a can dump, so I'm pretty sure at one point someone lived up there. I just don't know what they lived in. Here or there, I just couldn't find it. So I might just mosey around a little bit more before we go, but at some point here, we're gonna have to start heading towards camp. All right, I couldn't help myself but come back here and check out this can dump because there's gotta be something nearby. So that chicken wire fence runs right here, and it runs all the way around to the right and left, and that's the can dump. I searched that whole area over there and I found nothing. So I'm wondering if they walked up to this fence line right here and threw the cans into that pile. So I'm gonna take a look behind us, see what we can find. Man, guys, I looked everywhere. That can dump is there. That kind of hunter camp is down there. And I walked the entire perimeter, all through all the sagebrush and all these trees. And I couldn't find anything except a whole lot of debris. Old debris. But that's it. So sorry to disappoint you. I think that square I saw on satellite when I found the spot was just a big dirt. It's just a big plain dirt area where it's, there's no vegetation. It looked like a roof. So sorry to disappoint you on that one, but we need to start heading to camp. So I'm gonna have a little snack here and make our way over to the Got Whiskey camp. You know, I'm really glad I came up here to see something that I thought was a homestead roof, but it ended up being just a really big, cool camp. And I'm glad I got to find it and look around and everything there was to see there, because it looks to me like generations of people of possibly a family or a group of friends that come up and had a great time for years. And I think it's really cool that I got to see it. So I'm going to head on out of here, and if I see anything along the way before we get to camp, I'll make sure to stop and show it to you. All right, we have about 2 to 3 hours before dark, so I'm gonna go ahead and haul butt down this road and see if I can find the second site that I had marked. And behind us, about 10 miles that way, is gonna be our campsite. So I feel pretty good that we can kind of make our way down this road, try to find what it is. I don't know what it is. I think maybe, hopefully it's not just a watering hole. Hopefully, I'm hoping it's like a single wide that's been abandoned out there, or maybe a structure of some kind, but either way, I have it marked, so I want to take a look. So we're gonna head up here and see what we can find. Well, it's funny how sometimes when you see something on a satellite picture, it looks entirely different than it does in real life. For example, all we found was a little watering stop here, and what I was seeing was that big piece of metal back there they have set up, and it looked like a single wide trailer, but it's not. So sometimes those images can be kind of tricky, but on the other hand, we are way out here in the middle of nowhere, and the only thing I found right here where I stopped was rusty old tin can. All right, well, that was kind of a bummer. I was hoping we'd find something down there, but we didn't. So, but that was the two things I had marked on the map. So it's about 6:30 now, and it's going to get dark around 8. So we're going to go ahead and make our way down this road and head to camp. Tell you what, you put one of these Broncos in Baja mode, and they just fly across the desert, and they're so incredibly smooth. And that's even with all the crap I have bolted on this thing. It just flies. All right, we are just rolling into the Got Whiskey. It's not a campground, just a dispersed spot. Yeah, there's nobody here. Wow, it's beautiful. Look at this spot. Yeah, this is going to be perfect. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, this is a good spot. You guys got to come here if you're going to, even if you have a small group, there's plenty of room. And it is absolutely dead quiet and there's no one around. This is great. All right, I think the first thing we're going to do here is get the rooftop tent set up. And after that, we're going to set up our fire pit, put the chair next to it, and then we're going to start working on some dinner. So these iCamper solo tents, you can't really latch the ladder to them if you put them in the middle of a roof, at least on the Bronco. So I just got these straps here and a couple of rubber pads for the ladder, and I just lean the ladder against the side of the Bronco and then put these straps around the top rung, and that kind of keeps the ladder from sliding out, and it works perfectly. So when I travel, that rooftop tent is completely empty except for the pad. And this trip, I'm trying the pad that came with it because I've never used it. Normally I use a 4-inch inflatable that I fill up off my onboard compressor. But I want to try to skip that step, so I put the pad that came with it in there just to see how it is, and I'll let you know in the morning what I think of it. Anyway, so besides the tent being empty, I do have a Wiggy's 0 degree sleeping bag, which is the entire perimeter of the tent. And I'm 6'4" and 220, and it's really warm, and I have plenty of room to toss and turn. And the only other thing I put up there is this golf shoe bag, which has a couple of compartments on the side, one for my car keys, one for my wallet while I'm up there. And then I have my inflatable pillow in there and like a little hoodie for my head in case my head gets cold. Then I just throw the shotgun up there, and that's it. All right, let's talk a little bit about the Free Spirit Recreation Ready Light. This is really the perfect camp light for a lot of reasons. Number one, it comes in this nice hard case, and each piece of this light has its own little slot in the foam, so it doesn't rattle around the back of your car. And you can see it went together super fast. It has height adjustable. The top spins around just like this, and this actually goes even higher, so it goes way up in the air. And what it has is it has a big floodlight that has a high-low setting, and it also has these 4 pod lights which come off. And these have a high, low, and an amber setting, and they also are magnetic, so you can stick them on something metal like the side of your car. And they also have hangers. So typically what I do is I just bring one of these in my tent and I hang it, and that's my light for the night. And with the amber setting that you have on here, it helps keep the bugs away. Plugs for USB, mini USB, a bunch of other things. You can charge up your microphones, camera, phone, things like that. And the best part is that it's solar powered. So you just put this thing out, right now, and then it'll charge up, before it gets dark. And then also in the morning, it'll charge itself in the morning. So by the time you leave to go to your next spot, you should have a nice fully charged light. All right, what you're looking at is basically my camp. I mean, this is it. You can see in here I travel very light. I don't really hardly bring anything with me. I got the Ready Light, the fold-up chair, and the fold-out fire pit, and some firewood. That's really about it. So what I'm gonna do here, because it's so nice and quiet out here, sit for like, half an hour and relax until it starts getting dark. Then we're gonna light the fire, and then we're gonna cook dinner. And for dinner, we're just doing a Mountain House meal, and we're also gonna do a little bit of pyro iron cooking. So I'll see you in about a half an hour. All right, sometimes we all have to go number 2, so I'm gonna show you what I do. All I do is I take out the trash liner that normally holds my garbage, which I just put a rubber band around the top of the bucket. And then I keep these in the bottom of the trash caddy. You just open up one of these double duty bags, slide it in the bucket, wrap the outside of the bucket, and then it has a bunch of like gelatin in the bottom, so that way it keeps the smell down and it kind of makes everything glob up. Anyway, take a toilet seat. This is just one of those plastic ones. Stick it right on there. That's it. It's bathroom time. Then you just look around and make sure no one's around. If they're not around, then yeah, you're good to go. All right, once you've done your business, you just zip. This is a double Ziploc top on it. You just zip it shut and put it in your trash caddy, and that's it. So you guys might be wondering why I have this hole in the bucket. Well, if I put this in the trash caddy and the post that holds the spare tire hits the bucket, it'll make the whole trash caddy roll around. But if I have this hole right here, then the post that holds the spare tire on will just kind of settle in this hole, and it kind of holds the bucket in place, keeping the trash caddy nice and stable on the back of the spare tire. Okay, it's time to get a fire started so we can start cooking, but I'm going to need some coals for those pyro irons. And if you're wondering what I start these fires with, hit those little circles. I have a video down below with my video collection on how to make these. It's pretty simple. It's just a little bit of petroleum jelly and then a couple of pads, and that's it. And you can see it works really well. All right, so what's on the menu tonight is chicken and dumplings. This is my all-time favorite dinner, just like biscuits and gravy is my favorite breakfast. Chicken and dumplings is kind of my go-to for dinner. And then for the pyro irons, we got a couple pieces of bread here and a couple pieces of cheese. We have pepper jack and cheddar, and we're going to put it together and just make a grilled cheese sandwich. This is a really quick and easy, simple dinner, nice and filling, lots of calories because I didn't have a lot of time to pack food, and I usually don't pack much food anyway. But what you're looking at is pretty much what I eat all the time when I go out. Just sometimes my pyro iron stuff is a little bit more sophisticated. I'm going to go ahead and put together our pyro iron sandwich here. A little bit of high temperature cooking spray. And our cheese. Just put the cheese in there. A little bit of pepper on there. That's it. Put the top on. In the fire iron. Then we close it up. And just trim off what's on the outside. All right, now our water's boiling. So we're gonna go ahead and put that in the mountain house. Take out the oxygen absorber. Dump the water in. Yeah, it says how much to put in there. I usually just kind of eyeball it. But you don't want to put too much in because then it gets runny. So you really want to put less water than you think, because you can always add some water later. Take your spoon, give it a good stir. And then zip it shut and then wait about 10 minutes. Then you'll have a really nice chicken and dumplings dinner. Okay, while we wait for the fire to go ahead and burn down a little bit so we can get some coals, I figured I'd give you a little tour of this campsite. I think this is called the Got Whiskey Campground. It's not a campground, it's like dispersed campground. There's no utilities or anything like that. It looks like it's kind of more of a hunter's type campground, but you see that's the road we came in on, and out there is just absolutely nothing but open desert. But then as soon as you hit the tree line from the open desert is where this camp is. Here's a view from when you drive in the campsite area. This is what it looks like. You got one little fire ring back there and that's it. So I think if you're gonna come here and camp, you have basically one fire ring, or you can bring your own fire pit like I do. So there's where I chose to camp tonight. And then I'm just gonna rotate it 360 all the way around so you can get a good view of what this place looks like. And it is absolutely dead quiet here. There is absolutely no sound. Then as we come around, that's where you come in at from the desert area. Yeah, this is a pretty neat place. Get our grilled cheese sandwich going. Yeah, I think we're done now. All right. Let's see how our sandwich turned out. Perfect. Cut it open, have a look. Yep, a nice perfect grilled cheese sandwich. Now for the main attraction. You have chicken and dumplings mountain house. This is a good one. That's going to go right there, right on the side. And if any of you watch my channel, you know that I keep all my hot sauce packets from fast food places in here, and that way I always have a little something to pick from. And we're going to stick with a little bit of mild hot sauce here. And normally I have Frank's in here, but I don't this time. All right, there we go. Oh man, this is going to be tasty. And you can tuck your toes underneath the fire here to keep your toes warm. And I am just going to sit here and enjoy my grilled cheese sandwich and chicken and dumplings here. All right, I think I'm going to take a little bit of a breather from filming here. I'm just going to kind of button up camp a little bit for tomorrow. And I'll see you guys for bedtime. All right, guys, I made my way up here into the rooftop tent and get a good night's sleep. It's about 9:30, and popped a melatonin to kind of get me through the night. And once again, it is dead quiet out here. No wind, nothing. Just if I can hear the fire out there crackling, getting ready to go out. So I am going to get a good night's sleep here. I'll see you in the morning. All right, good morning, everybody. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. I just woke up and it's nice and sunny out. Slept like a rock last night. It was really, really quiet all night, which is good. So as far as the sleeping pad on this tent that comes with the tent, it's fine. It's good. That saves me, by not using the 4-inch blow up anymore, it saves me a step of having to blow it up when I get to camp and then deflating it when we leave. So That just shaved off a little bit of time right there, and I'm gonna keep this, I think. Yeah. All right, let's get down and have some breakfast. Tell you what, if you guys ever want to wake up quick in the morning, take a shower with some morning water that's about 34 degrees. Whew. That's cold. All right, so for breakfast this morning, we're going to do 2 different mountain houses combined into one. So we're going to do biscuits and gravy, and then we're going to do scrambled eggs. And I need to get a few extra calories in me because I have a 4-hour drive home and I'm kind of running out of food. Give those 2 mountain houses a stir, just to make sure it gets fully hydrated. Looks good. And then the eggs. And you know what the funny thing is? Normally I don't eat the eggs from Mountain House. I just don't like them. But I've never mixed them with biscuits and gravy. This is kind of a tip from Coyote Works. He does this to add a little extra protein to his meal, and I'm gonna give that a try because I have a long way home and I don't have a whole lot of food left. So see how it goes. All right, some eggs in there. Give it a good stir. All right, that we'll add a little pepper. You always have to add pepper. All right, breakfast is served. You know, I got to be honest with you. I don't care for the Mountain House or any freeze-dried egg whatsoever. But when you mix it with the Mountain House, just to add some extra protein, because you have kind of a long stint of driving and you don't want to stop to eat, yeah, it works out pretty good. But you can definitely tell it's in there. It's not bad. That's coming from a guy who does not like freeze-dried eggs. It's not bad. And in the morning, I always drink a liquid IV, and I even do this at home. But at home, I put it in a big shaker cup with a scoop of creatine and some protein powder. But when I'm out here, I just mix it with a bottle of water. And this is just the lemon lime, and I also like the pina colada. But I really don't like the other flavors, but it just adds a little hydration, because when you've been out hiking yesterday all day and just out here in the desert where it's really dry, it really makes you feel pretty good in the morning. All right, go ahead and get our hands washed, and we'll empty out this water jug, dump the last of the fuel into the fuel tank, and we'll be on the way. Well, in my last trip video, you saw that I thought that my wife was shrinking my t-shirts because over the winter my shirts seemed to have shrunk, but she informed me that no, I'm just gaining weight. I usually drive around with a gallon in the can just in case I find someone that needs a gallon of gas. I can give it to them. So I don't empty it completely, but this is about a 5-gallon can and gives me about a quarter tank more fuel. So I want to get that weight off the tailgate, and I'm going to empty the water jug too, so that'll reduce the weight for the way home. So I have a nice lightweight vehicle for the drive home. All right, we're about ready to check out of this joint. So yeah, I got off Highway 20 at 11 o'clock, and it's 8 o'clock now in the morning, and I haven't seen or heard another car or heard another human being. Just way out here, very nice little camp spot. It's perfect. We're gonna air up the bad boys right before we get back onto Highway 20, because I still have to go all the way down Fox Butte Road back to Highway 20, so they're gonna have to wait. But that'll be the last thing we gotta do. So let's get out of here, huh?